The Dyatlov Pass incident, one of the strangest mysteries in human history. 1. Overview of the incident. In January 1959, 10 young explorers from the Ural Polytechnic Institute, in the Soviet Union, now Russia, set out on a winter expedition into the northern Ural Mountains of Siberia. One member dropped out early due to health issues, leaving 9 hikers to continue. In early February, they set up camp near a mountain called Holotcycle, which means Mountain of Death in the local Mansi language. When the group failed to return as scheduled, search teams were dispatched. By late February, their tent was discovered, but something was clearly wrong. The tent was found slashed open from the inside, and most of their equipment had been left behind. Footprints led away from the campsite toward a nearby forest. Some prints were from bare feet, or just socks. Despite the freezing temperatures, over the next several weeks, all 9 bodies were gradually found, some in the woods, others buried in snow. At the time, temperatures had dropped to 30 C-22F, leaving little hope for survival. 2. The victims, the deceased, included 7 men and 2 women. Most died from hypothermia, but others suffered injuries that were far more unusual. Some had severe internal trauma like skull fractures or crushed ribs, but no visible external wounds, suggesting exposure to extreme force without surface damage. One female hiker was discovered with her tongue and eyes missing. The bodies had likely been exposed to the elements for an extended time after death. In addition, traces of radioactive material were found on some of the hikers' clothing. 3. Unusual clues and red flags. The tent was cut from the inside. This detail suggested a panicked escape, not an outside attack. No signs of external intrusion were found. Barefoot escape in freezing cold. Many of the hikers fled in little or no clothing, something that indicates a sudden, overwhelming fear. Radiation detected on clothes. The presence of radioactive material raised suspicion and suggested something more than a natural disaster. Crushing injuries with no surface damage. Some victims had broken bones comparable to injuries from a car crash, but without any bruising or cuts, which puzzled investigators. Missing tongue and eyes, though some argue this could be due to post-mortem animal activity. The precision of the removals led others to suspect a more deliberate cause. 4. Theories behind the mystery. 1. Avalanche theory. In 2020, Swiss scientists created simulations that supported the idea of an avalanche hitting the tent. This might explain the panic and sudden escape. However, critics argue that the slope wasn't steep enough, and that no avalanche debris was ever found. It also fails to explain the bizarre injuries or radioactive traces. 2. Secret Soviet military experiments. Some believe the group was caught in the middle of classified military tests, possibly involving missiles, radiation, or infrasound weapons. Witnesses reported strange lights in the sky, and the case was quickly classified by the government. These facts feed the theory, though no solid evidence has emerged. 3. Infrasound panic theory. A natural phenomenon, such as strong wind passing over the mountain, might have produced low-frequency sound waves, infrasound. These can cause disorientation, anxiety, and even panic attacks, leading the group to flee irrationally into the cold. 4. Aliens or paranormal forces. Though widely considered pseudoscientific, some claim UFOs were seen in the area on the night of the tragedy. The strange injuries and unexplained behavior have fueled alien and paranormal speculation, but no credible proof has ever supported this. 5. Internal conflict theory. Another idea is that a violent argument broke out among the group. Perhaps, under the stress of extreme conditions, tensions escalated. However, the lack of defensive wounds on the bodies weakens this theory. 5. Investigation and possible cover-up. The Soviet authorities handled the investigation unusually. The final report vaguely stated that the hikers died due to an unknown compelling force. No culprits were named, and the files were soon classified. For decades, access to evidence was tightly restricted, and witnesses rarely spoke openly about the case. In 2019, the Russian government reopened the investigation. However, the official conclusion once again blamed an avalanche, failing to address many of the lingering questions. Survivors' families and many researchers still suspect a cover-up. 6. Modern perspectives. Today, the Dyatlov Pass incident remains a topic of fascination in books, films, and documentaries. The 2013 film The Dyatlov Pass incident and numerous YouTube channels have explored the mystery from every angle. Most researchers now believe the cause was not singular. It may have involved a complex combination of environmental, psychological, and possibly even governmental factors. 7. Final thoughts. The Dyatlov Pass incident is more than just a tragic accident. It is a story wrapped in fear, mystery, and conspiracy, a puzzle that has haunted the world for over 60 years. To this day, people are still searching for the missing piece. Maybe somewhere in the snow-covered silence, the truth still waits to be uncovered.